Hello and welcome to the Matthew Allton Art channel again. I thought I'd do a different video this time. Those of you that follow the channel know that I do a lot of live drawing, and that one of the sort of sessions that I attend is over Zoom. So the model poses over the internet, and the group all draw the same pose. And normally what I do on my videos is a time lapse where everything's sped up, which is great for getting an overview of how things are done. But because the poses in a live drawing session are quite small, I thought I'd do a couple of videos, and this is the first one, where I actually do a video in real time, so you can see how I sketch without it being sped up. You can see here that I've got the finished drawing on the left, which is where we're aiming for, and I'm currently working on the right. I think the important thing about life drawing for me is the fact that it's limited to time, and this pose was a 10-minute pose where the model posed for us all, and you've got to get the main features and details in during the time that they're posing. So it's never going to be a polished piece of work. You can see from the finished sketch on the left, it's not polished, but it's about getting the essential information across to get the weight of the figure standing correctly. You often don't get a perfect likeness, but sometimes it's a good approximation. So this is the process in real time. It's quite a difficult thing to do, in that, of course, because it's a live model, as it would be in a face-to-face live drawing group, the model does move a little bit. They can't be statuesque, obviously, and of course you're distracted by chatting as well, so that sort of makes things a bit more difficult as well. I think anybody who hasn't tried live drawing, whether it's sort of like online like this is, or face-to-face, if you're interested in art and interested in improving accuracy and speed drawing, then live drawing is definitely the way to go. I think a lot of people ask, why do you draw and paint naked people? It's partly because if you can't get it wrong. So if you're doing a landscape, for instance, you can paint a tree or draw a tree, and it doesn't really matter if the branches are exactly as they are in the reference that you're looking at, whether that's real life or whether it's a photograph that you're working from. But if you get sort of the proportions wrong on a body, it looks really wrong. So that's part of the fascination of it, really. And having the time limit as well is really good for improving your observation skills and your hand-eye coordination skills as well. So you can see in this drawing here that I started at the top of the page. I normally do that, really. It's a good, for me, it's a good idea to get the head in place and the right size, and then that sort of informs the rest of the pose. And the attitude of the head, where the head is sitting and where it's pointing, can inform the weight for the rest of the body, really, and the weight distribution for the rest of the body. You can see with it being slowed down or at normal speed, how deliberate I am. When you look at a time-lapse video that I do, it all looks very as if I'm just throwing it down as quick as you like. But of course I speed the normal time-lapse videos up to about 1000 speed normally, or even more if it's a long painting or drawing. Obviously people aren't particularly interested in sitting for 4 hours watching a video if it took 4 hours to paint the painting. So to sort of give an overview, it's necessary to speed it up. But when it's just 10-minute poses like this, I just thought it was a good opportunity for people to see how in real time I create these drawings. When I'm drawing, I'm always looking at sort of reference points. So I've described this before in the videos. You're sort of looking for the angles of lines. And sometimes you can sort of measure those, look at the reference, hold up a pen or something and point it at the right sort of angle on the reference, or the model in this case, and then sort of move your hand down without moving the angle and transfer that to your paper. So that's quite a useful tip. But also, you're looking, when you're drawing things, where is the left shoulder in relation to the right shoulder? Is it higher, lower from a vertical perspective? Where is the hand under the head? Is it under the chin, or is it to the left or the right? So if you're making these sort of judgments all the time as you're drawing, and I am making those judgments, you can see how I'm putting sort of hesitant marks down, and then looking at the reference, the model in this case, on the screen, and checking that everything is in proportion. Once, of course, you've done the layout and you're happy with the layout, then you can return to adding some of the details and filling in some of the details that you want to. In 10 minutes, you can't do a fully detailed drawing, so it's about a matter of sort of picking the things that you think are important to give definition to the body. So you can see in the left hand finished drawing that I've put muscles in for definition around the stomach area, rather than it just being a flat expanse between the lines as they are currently in the drawing stage. And you can see at the moment I'm currently adding some details of the face, some of the shading. I think it's important to get some of the shading on, because it's the shading that adds to the three-dimensionality of the figure. Of course, some people like drawing just in line, and that's up to them. But personally, I think adding shading helps sort of make it look a more complete drawing, I think. Looking at it in real time, it's sort of quite obvious how deliberate the marks are that I make, and I am fairly accurate with those these days because of the practice of doing it over and over again, and doing this cross-referencing as you are sort of drawing out the outline, I guess. I don't know if anybody who's watching has done lots of life drawing. What are your experiences of doing life drawing? Have you ever done Zoom life drawing? Personally, it's obviously not as good as a face-to-face session with a model, either in a group situation or a one-to-one sort of situation. But it's actually great for practice, because of course you do have a live model, i.e. they move, which is something that you would have to deal with if you were with a model face-to-face. The poses change over time, especially on quite difficult poses. The model slouches through time, or sort of gravity takes over through time. They can't possibly stay in exactly the same place as they were when you started the drawing. And when they have breaks, of course, in longer poses, they are bound to not be in quite the same place as when you started the drawing, when they sit back down or whatever. But the Zoom sessions are great for practice. It's got a lot of the difficulties of real life drawing, and it's great for practicing it for when you are lucky enough to have the opportunity to do it live. It has some advantages as well, in that if you're looking at the model on the screen, you're sort of getting help with the proportional side of it, really, because your paper is square, and if the screen is square, you can sort of look at the negative space around the figure as well, so that's helpful. Whereas if you're in a room, you're not able to do that. But I think it's a great thing to be able to do regularly, and of course it's not always easy to find local groups to attend, and the quality of the camera is better these days, so you can see most of the details. Of course, you're relying sometimes on somebody else getting the sort of lighting right at the other end and that sort of thing. But it's if you take it as it is, it's a practice at drawing the figure. It doesn't really matter what the lighting's like. You're just having another session of trying to be accurate at proportions and that sort of thing. Okay, so that was the drawing, and these are the other drawings that I did during the session. So the second pose and the third pose, fourth pose here, and they went up in time. So there was 2 10-minute poses, 2 15-minute poses, and then this last one, which was a 25-minute pose, I think. Right, well, thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Slightly different to the normal style of video. If you've got any comments, if you've got any experience at life drawing, then do write a comment and let me know. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, and also how do you get proportions right if you're in a life drawing situation. Okay, so I'll see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye.